Pass to start. Okay. Okay. Pass. Start. Okay. Yeah, we are actually live. Uh, but we are not visible yet, are we? On YouTube. Yeah, we are actually live, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
So we'll
So,
start?
yeah, we'll start. I'll just give a formal introduction and then we can just go ahead. Yeah, we're live. Okay, so a very good evening to everyone. I know quite a diverse sort of audience that this series of discussions have generated, and you all know that I have been holding a series of discussions on the subclassification of SCSTs, especially after the 1st August uh, judgment by a constitution bench of the Supreme Court of India. So today we are going to specifically discuss and kind of interact on this whole politics of subclassification, which is already in place in Tamil Nadu, and we couldn't get better speakers than uh, mm, uh, Manoj sir and Shalin Maria Lawrence madam. So Manoj sir has been practicing in Madras High Court and has been quite very focused, and he has deep insights on the issue. So is the case with Shalin madam. So Shalin Maria Lawrence has been a very vocal civil rights activist in Tamil Nadu, and her voice resonates all across, and she knows the socio-political landscape and the kind of politics that is going on in this Dravidian land of Tamil Nadu, Dravidian Periyar land of Tamil Nadu, and I'm sure that we are going to have a very enlightening sort of panel discussion in the coming 1 hour and 1.5 hour. So before I hand over or we start discussing, let me sort of give you a little bit of background of what we are discussing and why we are discussing basically the subclassification. Uh, the entire subclassification of the two very oppressed castes, scheduled castes and scheduled tribes, specifically the Dalits, the scheduled castes, their reservation has constitutionally been placed by the Constituent Assembly of India. So and Constituent Assembly for long discussed the the SC/ST reservation and so on. So SC/ST reservation, sir, do you need any?
One second.
Okay, so you can mute and switch off the video also if you want. Okay, so there was uh, states like Punjab, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, they have been kind of trying to subclassify the scheduled caste reservation, And there is in Punjab, there is already a subclassification in place. In the case of Tamil Nadu, the subclassification is in place. In Andhra Pradesh, there has been a fight going on. So this particular judgment that has come on 1st August of 2024 has basically reversed the E.V. Chinnaya judgment. The very basis and the power to subclassify the scheduled caste reservation is in the hands of Parliament. Parliament being the highest legislative or the law-making body. Now, this judgment, the way it has come by reversing the E.V. Chinnaya judgment, has invoked so many debates. I mean, different kinds of debates and very, very scathing academic discussions, social discussions, and also political discussions in and around it. And which is why in the very recent past, there has been a nationwide Bharat Bandh call was given in the protest against the subclassification judgment. In fact, political leaders from the SC communities had come out to protest against the subclassification. So many political leaders from the scheduled caste political leaders from Congress have basically come out in the support of Bharat Bandh. I know that Mr. Nitin Raut, a very prominent Congress leader from Maharashtra, from SC community, had protested vigorously. Leaders like Prakash Ambedkar, again another very, very prominent Ambedkarite leader, and of course the most important leader who have been protesting against the subclassification judgment is Bahenji Mayawati. She is leading probably this movement and constantly reminding the government that this judgment should not go through, and Parliament should overturn this judgment, and the entire SC reservation should be put in the 9th schedule so that there cannot be any tinkering in the future by the constitutional courts like Supreme Court and the High Courts. But the problem, the various ideas on which, or the various premises on which this subclassification judgment has come, or judgment has been written, or the idea has been propagated, is also very, very problematic, and also defeats or let's say ignores the very basis of the scheduled caste communities reservation, that the historical identity of scheduled caste, and in fact social identity of the scheduled caste, and also the idea of substantive inequality that has been invoked, that there are some scheduled castes, as the Chief Justice led of India, Chandrachud led bench has said that we need to have substantive equality within SC reservation, by ignoring the fact that SCs of India, scheduled castes of India, largely still at the lower bottom in terms of socio-economic and political realities. In fact, in judiciary itself, so along with the scheduled tribes, the Adivasis. So this whole idea of substantive equality is very, very reductive. That has been kind of made as a basis to subclassify and subcategorize the scheduled caste reservation. Also, something very important that I think have been discussed so far against the subclassification is that how the entire constitutional mandate with regards to scheduled caste and scheduled tribe reservation has been kind of diluted by the subclassification judgment. And in a country which is organized in and around the fourfold Varna system, or let's say Varna order, has been trying to this judgment to try to put caste on a casteless society, which is the Dalit society, or let's say Dalit Samaj. Indra Sahni judgment here, and the seven judges bench, constitution bench that had delivered that judgment, one of the judge was Justice Bela Trivedi, has dissented against it, and she upheld the E.V. Chinnaya judgment, the Chinnaya judgment, which basically said that subclassification of scheduled caste reservation is not under the jurisdiction of Supreme Court. It is under the jurisdiction of Parliament of India, and also subclassifying scheduled caste reservation would be also tinkering the whole idea of. So thereby another question that came to the fore is whether scheduled castes are homogeneous or heterogeneous communities. So and it is a very well settled matter that scheduled castes are a homogeneous class, because once they are put into the scheduled caste list, they become a homogeneous community. But that has been very willfully ignored by ignored in this judgment, and that is very kind of problematic, and it can also create some kind of as I said, the intra-community, let's say, tensions and so on. But moreover, the last point before we start the discussion that I would like to mention here is that here is another very essentialist positioning that has been taken about the economic upliftment of some Dalit communities and economic backwardness of some Dalit communities, which again is very problematic conjecture in a country where the wealth ownership is largely being captured by the upper caste. The recent World Inequality Lab report has exposed that how upper castes, billionaires, the billionaires' wealth in this country are in the hands of upper caste. And in fact, when we talk about economic upwardness or the economic upliftment, we need to talk about we need to talk through the lens of the totality of the wealth distribution, where the upper castes of India or the general caste categories have massive concentration in terms of the wealth ownership, land ownership, and educational upwardness, political mobility, and so on. So basically, judging scheduled caste communities, which is a historically oppressed community, with other scheduled castes is a very problematic kind of worldview or a judicial fiction that has been propagated, which would basically which goes against the whole Ambedkarite or let's say Dr. Ambedkar's kind of writings, or let's say Dr. Ambedkar's idea of scheduled caste, and his entire fight also has been kind of shattered by this kind of subclassification. Could this be done by the Constituent Assembly? He could have done it. So he, as a law minister of India later, and as the chairman of the Constituent Assembly, he actually made sure that scheduled castes are actually a homogeneous category. While the Chandrachud and other 6 judges, those had given a majority judgment, they have said that they have taken a reference from Indrasani judgment. But Indrasani judgment, those of us have read Indrasani judgment, it is a judgment with specific regards to OBC reservation. So they have categorically mentioned in the judgment that the SC, STs are not included. So creamy layer and so on cannot be applied to the SC, ST reservation. It's clearly stated. So with these words, we are basically going to discuss Dravidian, backward caste against the Dalit communities across in Tamil Nadu. But in Tamil Nadu, the former Tamil Nadu Chief Minister of DMK, Dravida Munnetru Kajagam, Mr. Karunanidhi, had basically set up a committee to subclassify, to look into this matter of subclassification of, which is in the name of Janardhanam Committee. So Janardhanam Committee, in a very quick time, which is again very problematic, and we know that how these commissions are being appointed by the political parties when they come to power, and this has been a case in Bihar, in Punjab, in Andhra Pradesh, and also Tamil Nadu. So about Tamil Nadu, the way Tamil Nadu's this subclassification has been done, I actually could not help but called it that this is actually a politics of subclassifying Dalits for political purposes. So without further ado, let me thank Manoj sir and madam Salin Madam, for agreeing to be part of this panel discussion, because both of them I couldn't imagine better than both of them, uh, coming from the very grounds of Tamil Nadu, who is uh, closely monitoring the socio-political realities with regards to Dalits in Tamil Nadu. So I once again thank Sir and Madam for being part of this panel discussion, and I would, uh, f- you know, just we try to make it an interactive one, and we'll start probably with Madam or Sir. Anyone can go ahead first, and then we'll just pick up from there with initial remarks on how do you see this whole subclassification judgment, and how it's going to create fissures within the scheduled caste community. Yes,
Hello.
sir,
Hello.
Madam.
Yeah. As you said, hi to all. Classification within the Dalit community. That is, they are trying to create a layer within the scheduled caste like Varna system. Varna system says one caste is not equal to the other, so it has to get reflected in scheduled caste it as well. Is what the idea of subclassification within SC is what I believe, which do not apply within SC community because, as you said, it is homogeneous. In front of caste, uh, every community of scheduled caste is the same in the eye of a caste person. Mala, Madiga, Paraya, or Arundhatiya, everyone has a same value. Everyone has zero value. So it cannot be subclassified at all. And also, they are trying to create a layer, layer by layer, that one community is economically prospered and one group is not prospered. I mean, they are considering the scheduled caste. They are giving a weightage in terms of economic value, which do not apply in caste system at all, because caste is not a class issue. Caste is a social issue. So it cannot be measured on an economical aspect. That is important. And uh, in the second half of the just a Dalit person. No. And thereafter, we had so many leaders like Ayodhidasa Pandidar, a very great scholar, and as well as we had Reverend John Ratnam. Ayodhidasa Pandidar is a traditional medicine doctor and medical practitioner, and himself with Reverend John Ratnam, they have actually established Dravida Kalagam. They are the persons who established Dravida Kalagam in 1879. That was the first period, and it was later hijacked by the Sudras of Tamil Nadu later in 1940s. Okay, so in second half of 19th century, we had so many Dalit leaders like Ayodhas, Madurai Pillai, Ayodhidasa Pandita, Reverend John Ratnam. We had Ratamalai Srinivasan. We had then after uh, 20th century, in the beginning of 20th century, we had Sivaraj Pillai, Meenambal, and we had MC Raja. We had so many leaders, but the dominant caste, that is Sudras of Tamil Nadu, they were very consolidated, and from the beginning of 19th century itself, they've started having Justice Party in their hand. So their Justice Party had come to the power, and with the help of Justice Party is the one which first party. which had given opportunity to grab the land, deforestation. They had given an opportunity to deforest and grab the land and convert it into an agricultural land. Thus, how the feudal, they have become a very large landowners, Shudras. That happened in the beginning of 20th century, and thus how they economically prospered. And the Justice Party being in regime, they received the political power as well, which conveyed to DMK later, okay, after independence. So uh, after independence, yeah, after that is after 20th century, the entire political power as well as the economical power, everything went into the hands of Sudras. I will call them as Sudras. Okay, specifically. And what they did later, they used Dalits as a political labors. And coming to the internal reservation, I'll come directly to the point. Uh, in 2001, there was a scheduled caste, there was a census of population of Tamil Nadu, which reveals that the Dalit community, the SC community overall is 19%, and the category of SCA, Aruntatiyar, is around 2.9%. Okay, this is what the census taken into account by Karnataka government. Karnataka government, they have constituted one person commission, which is one single umbrella in the name of Arundhatiya, and the entire population was 2.9%, whereas internal reservation was given of 3%. That is more than 100%. I think in India, in the history of India, Arundhatiyar community is the first community to have 100% reservation and more than 100% reservation. That is the first and only community to have 100% reservation and more than 100% reservation. I'll say once again, because the community is only 2.9%, but the reservation was 3%, internal reservation. That is one.
Now they're
And
asking for 6%.
now, and also I'll tell you, after receiving this 3%, there have been so much of protest conducted by this Arundhatiya community, and 5% they have died so far, demanding 6% reservation. That is more than 200% reservation. That is happening. And that committee, that MS Janardhan committee, within 1 year, within 10 months of time, they have submitted the report, they have recommended that the Arundhatiya community, they are doing menial jobs and they are economically backward. They have not received education, and they have not received any kind of economical support. In general, they are totally backward within the SC community, hence they deserve an internal reservation. But the committee specifically did not refer to give 3% internal reservation at all. But the committee referred for internal reservation. It didn't point out what should be the percentage. However, Karnataka's DMK government decided to give 3% for reasons best known to them. And what happened? No leaders were consulted on this. There was no research or proper, the research methodology was not properly followed. I'll tell you why. At the time of, I'll tell you, the a report of MS Janardhanan community says that the majority of Arundhatiyar communities, they do scavenging job. You know, 100% scavengers, you mean, I'm talking about the government employment. If you take the Tamil Nadu government employment, if you take the scavengers employed under Tamil Nadu government, the 100% is Arundhatiyar. Not 100%. There are Parayar community also. There are Irregular community also. Okay. But predominantly Arundhatiyar community, they are government employed for scavenging works. And what will be the salary? At the time in 2009, the salary of a scavenger government salary was around 20,000 rupees. Today they are receiving 40,000 rupees. A scavenger salary is 40,000 rupees. So end of the day, their salary is 5 lakhs per annum. So they will fall under creamy layer at present. If at all creamy layer is implemented today, then majority of Arundhatiyars who are government employed, they will fall under creamy layer. I don't know for what reason such kind of recommendations are given. And the leaders of Arundhatiyar community, though I consider themselves even as my leaders, and I
What is
don't.
the caste location of Janardhanam, sir?
Sir?
Justice Janardhanam, the man who headed that committee, what is his caste location?
He is
sir?
an OBC.
Ah, interesting.
Okay, and also
Anything to do with the Dalit commission, it will always be an OBC person heading a Dalit commission in Tamil Nadu.
and what
And-
happened? So, without a proper research, the committee has filed a report based on the recommendations of the commission. 3% was given, which was more than 100%. Even at the time of before implementation of that 3% internal reservation, there was two times there was all party meeting happened in which one Dalit leader alone opposed for internal reservation at the time itself. His name is Dr. Krishnasamy. He is the head of Pudiya Tamilagam. He is the head of Pudiya Tamilagam party. He opposed it and he was demanding for data because based on the recommendations of the commission, there was a all party meeting happened in which the Dalit leader, Dr. Krishnasamy, he demanded for data. But the meeting headed by the DMK government, they refused to release the data. They refused to supply the data, but he was insulted and he was sent out of the meeting. And the all other Dalit leaders were on the side of DMK government at the time. And after implementation of this internal reservation, now the entire reservation given to SC community was 18%, in which 3% goes to SCA, and the remaining 15% should be shared by the other community. However, the Arundhatiyar community leaders, they keep on blaspheming Parayar community for reasons unknown to them, for best reasons known to them. Parayar community is the community. See, in my certificate, I do not, my community is not mentioned as Parayar, I am telling. So, officially, I don't belong to Parayar community. Okay, but in Tamil Nadu, this Arundhatiyar community leaders, they were keep on blaspheming Parayar communities. I don't know why. And they say that Parayar community is the only community which is oppressing Arundhatiyars, not the dominant caste, not the Brahminism. Parayar community is the only community which is oppressing Arundhatiyars. and Parayar community do not marry Arundhadiyar community. And because of Parayar community, Arundhadiyar community is unable to prosper. This is what the allegations submitted by all the Dalit, all the Arundhadiyar leaders against Parayar community. But Arundhadiyar community, they do not marry Irular community or Pudurai. Generally, they don't marry a Hindu Parayar because of the faith differences. I agree that there are differences among SC community, but it is not a discrimination, it is only differences. So due to this, these differences cannot be considered as a conflict. See, the what we have between the OBC and the SC is a discrimination. What the difference, the thing what we have among the SC community is a difference. In within the SC community, who are all are Christians, they generally don't marry a Hindu person, Hindu SC. For example, I'll say Mahars in Maharashtra, predominantly they are Buddhist. They don't marry a Hindu Mahar. A Mahar who is a Christian, the Mahar Christian generally don't marry a Hindu Mahar. It is followed by most of the communities in SC across India. Go to West Bengal, go to Kashmir, Tamil Nadu, or whichever state you travel, you will find these differences because of the faith and the cultural conflict, cultural differences, and they renounced Hinduism, so they do not want to have any more relationship with Hinduism. Say they don't marry generally a Hindu SC person. So within the Parayar community itself, there is a big differences. A Christian Parayar will never ever marry a Hindu Parayar. So the allegation what is placed by Arundhadiyar leaders upon the Parayar leaders, upon the Parayar community, is applied within the Parayar community itself as well as applied upon the entire Arundhadiyar community itself. So I don't know for what reason this Arundhadiyar community is keep on blaming Parayar community, but one point is the entire Arundhadiyar leaders are on the side of DMK. A point to be noted, the entire Arundhadiyar community leaders, political leaders, are on the side of DMK. But not all the Parayars are on the side of DMK.
DMK, which is a OBC dominated party.
Yes.
Or OBC headed.
OBC headed. OBC headed, Brahminized OBC. So, Parayar community is the one which is fighting against the caste discrimination. We have the history, recorded history from 19th century itself, and even before that. So, not just now, but for 200 years. But for 200 years, even before that, the Parayar community was fighting against caste discrimination. But I'm talking about the recent history. Parayar community, without having any gap, for past 200 years, they are fighting against caste in Tamil Nadu, in this Tamil Dravidian region. I'm talking. So this always challenges DMK government or any Sudra government. Okay. So they might feel annoyed on the agitation of Parayar community. And Parayar community is talking about Buddhism. Parayar community, I can say that factually 75% of different groups. But Parayar community within SC and as well as in within Tamil Nadu is the largest community. And think about 75% of Parayar community, factually, they have a faith, they don't follow Hinduism, they have a Christian faith. And now, if you take Buddhism, the majority of Buddhists are pariahs. Okay, and pariah community is the one fighting against caste discrimination for very long time. I'll say one big example. The Arundhatiyar leaders, they say that Arundhatiyars are the most affected in SC. But if you take the people who died due to caste atrocity, which is the largest number, to which community the majority of deaths belong to is Parier community. See, if 100% dies
Pallar also. Pallar
due
and
to
Parai.
caste, if 100% dies due to caste discrimination, caste atrocity, the majority will be Parier community. So how come an Arundhatiyar community will be considered the most affected than a community which is having the most dead due to caste atrocity? This itself is a big no. Uh, Still, I do not want to blame or I don't wish to blaspheme Arundhatiyar community. I am happy that Arundhatiyar community they got 3% internal reservation. Though I do not support internal reservation, I'm happy at least they have got it. But it should be eradicated. End of the day. But anyhow, okay, and but with this internal reservation, they keep blaspheming or they keep allege against Parayer community, which is totally wrong. And why do they do? That's because of the uh, politics of DMK. Arundhatiyar community, they hold on the politics of DMK and they act against a major community, Parayer community. So that is one big thing. And second thing is DMK is Tamil Nadu is not a progressive state at all. Tamil Nadu is a social welfare state. I admit that. Tamil Nadu has a better facility in terms of medical facility, education facility, road facility, or whatever it is, or employment or industrial. I admit that Tamil Nadu is far better than UP. In terms of education, I admit that Tamil Nadu is far better. Tamil Nadu is a welfare state, but it is not progressive at all. Tamil Nadu is more dangerous. I'll tell you, Tamil Nadu stands in the second place next to UP in terms of caste atrocity. And Tamil Nadu stands in the last in terms of intercaste marriage. Tamil Nadu is having the most educated state. Tamil Nadu is being the most educated state, but standing next to caste atrocity, next to UP in caste atrocity, think of UP is not that educated at all. UP do not have that much of employment compared to TN. But Tamil Nadu portrayed as a very progressive state, but think of it stands second next to UP is very dangerous than an uneducated caste casteist person. So
This
think
also proves, I just want to interrupt here. This also proves that economic condition does not erase or eradicate untouchability. So, just because few pariahs are socially upward, that does not prove a point that they do not suffer untouchability or discrimination. So, this whole creamy layer itself, just take an example of Tamil Nadu and UP, poverty levels, lesser infrastructure, lesser education rates, but still the same level of caste in a more upward mobile state like Tamil Nadu, which means caste is very independent of all these factors, very exclusive of these factors. So, anybody to gauge caste discrimination in terms of economic mobility, in terms of economic or finance or education itself, is stupid. It's very stupid. So, I think how can even with all on with all respect to the Supreme Court, to even suggest creamy layer is absolutely ridiculous. It means that these upper caste Supreme Court judges do not have good understanding of how caste affect people's life, because they are not affected by caste. Yes.
And yeah, so so this Arundhatier community, they always say that the Arundhatier community is always backward, that is economically backward, and they suffer only because of Parayar community, and that is the only reason why they could not prosper economically, which is a very wrong understanding and very false allegation to be placed within SC community itself. But that is the biggest reason handled by DMK against Parayar. Whenever Parayar speak about caste discrimination, then immediately the DMK fellows will come and speak against Parayar that you Paraya itself is an oppressor against Arundhatiya. So you are disqualified. You are not qualified to speak on caste discrimination, is what the allegation placed by DMKs against the Parayar community. How pathetic it is. A community, the majority of caste, the persons who died due to caste atrocity, the majority of them belong to Parayar community. But still then, Parayar community is not considered as the most affected community. And as well, the biggest recommendation given for Arundhatier community internal reservation is scavenging work. But Parayars also involved in scavenging work. But I don't know why Arundhatier doing scavenging work alone is being considered as scavenging work, not the Parayars. I don't know why really. Even few of my relatives, they are involved in scavenging work. I don't belong to Arundhatier community. I don't belong to Parayar community. And I have evidence that few of my relatives, they are involved in, that is, my mother is a Parayar community and my wife is a Parayar community. And I can say that Parayar community people are involved in scavenging work. Still then, they don't deserve internal reservation. They don't deserve at all.
But sir,
And in few recruitments, Arundhatiers are recruited in SCA as well. Arundhatiers are recruited in SC as well. So in terms of 3%, for example, if 3 Arundhatiers have to be recruited, 6 or 7 Arundhatiers are getting recruited.
So
Okay,
actually, according to the roster, the seats are allocated. For example, at first they'll give importance to SCA 3%, right? So the seats are allocated, and then they in the SC list we have 15%. No, in that also senior on the priority is given to SCA only. So SCA is chosen from SCA and SC. The seats are given. But what happens eventually is when the seat, for example, there is a lecturer thing post. We just saw in university. It is like, SC has around 3. SCA had around 7 or 10. And then ST didn't even have anything. And what happens is when the seats are not filled, because we're not talking about seats not getting filled, reservation quota not getting filled is the biggest problem in the whole of India, not just Tamil Nadu. Reservation not getting filled. You know what happens with these selection committees? There is no reservation in the selection committees. So obviously, one paper you have. So they reject Parayar candidates, they reject Arundhatier candidates. So what happens is the accumulated seats which are, set for Arundhatinas, all the seats according to the roster system goes to the BCs, goes to the upper caste. So who's enjoying the all these things? So that's what we think. We don't think it's a conspiracy theory of DMK, but we can see by the numbers and data that the whole internal reservation is only aiding the ROSA system for all the seats to be moved to BCs and general category. This is only helping them. This is not helping Dalits or the Arundhatinas. I don't know the Arundhatinas, they hold a grudge against us or whatever political reason. I'm talking about the ones who are in the limelight, not about the people who are sitting at home doing, menial jobs. No, not about them. I'm talking about people who are putting Arundhatina interest in the media, in political spaces. They have a lot of grudge. They say this is going to help them, but nobody has gone back to their, gone back and checked whether it has really helped them at all. If they have done that, they would know it has not helped the community at all. The reason the community is still lacking in a lot of things, just like other, Dalit communities, is because of government, is because of state negligence, is because of state apathy, right? They have to talk about that. Instead, they are starting to fight with parayas and pallars in this community. They're totally forgetting a bigger oppression, a very big oppression happening to them. So they have to go and ask, oh my God, you're not filling my reservation. Instead, you're moving it up in the reservation ladder to another higher caste. They should be fighting that. They are not doing it, which means this whole fight for internal reservation is namesake, is grudge. It's like a revenge mechanism. There is no proper justification to it. DMK wanted to settle things with parayas because, as Manoj says, parayas are very agitated, pallas are very agitated. You have series of fights in 90s. Pallas and parayas, they were so resilient. They were so rebellious. The community like parayas or pallas, how to weaken them is to give importance to a minority community within that thing. See, they're not just numerically minority.
By creating quota within quota.
They are not just numerical minority. They're ethnical minority. They're not Tamils. They are Telugu people. Okay. First, let me tell you something. In Tamil Nadu SC list, we have 76 castes. 76 communities are there. Not just Parayar, not that Pallar, not that Arundhatinar, right? So how come Janardhan committee can just think of 3 castes? How come Chandrachud and the team can only think of 3 castes when you have 76 communities in Dalit, in the scheduled caste in Tamil Nadu? You have Toti, you have, Kuravan community. I'll tell you the problem of Kuravans, okay? The Kuravar community is so scattered. They don't have a spokesperson for them. They're not strong. They don't have community certificate. They commit suicide in front of court and police station because they do not have a community certificate. As the court thought about Kuravan community, and there are Pudurai who are still treated as untouchable by a lot of people. They're very, they're still doing their hereditary jobs, caste-based job. As these judges have these people thought about, these Pudurai Vannar community, there's a lot of, I'm telling you, there's a very big list. Toti is seen as another discriminative very lowly community among the Dalits itself, among Arundhatinar. I think Chakliar also, it's a very wrong word, but Chakliar also is a part of Arundhatinar community, Ilya Manoj, and they are also treated very badly. That word itself is used.
See, that is word.
Yeah, so what happens is, once again, so what happens is, you have, because of this roster system in Tamil Nadu, because of that internal reservation, a lot of seats get accumulated for SCAs. These smaller communities, I think around 70 of them, do not get an opportunity to get higher studies, to get jobs. They're dying. If you go take a survey on how many of these other communities are placed in the government, government offices or higher education, you cannot find many. You cannot find many. Their status is almost like a ST person status. So why was these things not taken into consideration? And then you have the parayas who are still doing menial job also. Only scavenging work is not a menial job, no. You have
Yes.
400 plus menial jobs in Tamil Nadu, from crematorium jobs, crematorium worker. You know, there is a job in the western regions of Congo where pariah men have to have sex with a dead OBC woman if she dies a virgin. It's called Vengampayal. They call them Vengapayal. It still happens. It's a menial job, right? A guy, because of his birth, he has to have sex with a corpse, an OBC woman corpse.
Two
If she dies a
communities.
virgin, 1 second, and then you have the tandora, the parai beating, and then you have matama. You know, the matama is it's almost like a Devatasi tradition, which is still followed in parts of Tamil Nadu. Dalits are part of it. Dalit women are still doing it. Dalit children are into it. Aren't these not menial works? So there are 400 plus menial jobs in Tamil Nadu. Every community does it. And then you only talk about one community doing one job, and even that scavenging jobs. I've documented 30 plus manual scavenging deaths in Tamil Nadu in the last 1.5 years. So they're into every job. Now, how will you explain this now? You are only talking about people getting into septic tanks or cleaning sewages. What about people cleaning dry toilets? What about people cleaning, their contractual laborers? These people who are doing scavenging job, they should go to Tamil Nadu government and ask, why are you kept us as contractual workers? 100% of Chennai Corporation work is going contractual. Right? They don't get any remuneration, rehabilitation. They should go and fight with them. They should say, why are you doing this to us? If you follow reservation, give us government jobs. But one side you're saying you're following reservation, another saying you're subcontracting everything. How it is even justified as reservation? So people should question that, right? And people like Thirumavalavan, right now he's fighting against this. He's only fighting against states' autonomy to amend reservations. But he still says, I'm supporting Arundhati reservation. He supported that when Arundhati reservation came, because he was with DMK at that time. Because your election coalitions cannot go ahead and, your election coalitions cannot determine your mind, your thing about social justice. And the CPIM is saying, no, we only got this 3%. In fact, we went and asked for 6%. And Thirumavalavan saying, no, we asked for 6%. Is this a dignified fight? Well, any person with logic and CPIM, these people who gave 10% EWS, Kerala was the first state to give 10% EWS. And you think these people are qualified enough to talk about subcategorization in the first place? You have backstabbed the Dalit community by giving 10%, EWS to upper caste people, and their cutoff is 8 lakhs per annum. Here, for SC, the SD, the layer is 2 lakhs per annum. These comrades who spoke about, who said, we fought for 3%. Then how the hell did you go ahead and support EWS? And why the hell you didn't talk about 2% bar for 2%, cutoff for Dalits and 2 lakhs cutoff for Dalits and 8 lakh cutoff for EWS? How is this even possible? People have to question this. But when I'm questioning this based on pure math, based on scientific values, then I am termed as a caste person. I am telling you, I am not a caste person. I am a civil rights activist. I have been talking for atrocities on Arundhatinas, atrocities on Pallas, atrocities on Parayas, Kuravan, Irular, everybody. Not a single time I have not spoken about one community. I've spoken about all the communities. You know that, right? People have been observing me. But most of the Arundhatinas, 90% of them, do not talk for social issues at all. Do not. Go ahead and check when they have spoken about Parayar issues. Anything happened to Dalits, Kuravars or Irulars or any tribes, they don't open their mouth at all. Or any kind of a rape, women rape, POXO cases in Tamil Nadu, anything, riots, they don't open their mouth at all. They never question ADMK. They never question DMK. They remain silent. They remain silent, not just for caste-based oppressions, but for any kind of oppression which happens in Tamil Nadu, they remain silent. The only thing they talk about is when their own community gets affected. Is that wrong? Or a person who's talking for everybody and who's talking for you, and that person who's talking on scientific values, they're saying, hey, our seats are going to be, the secretaries come from Devendra Kulavelalar, Pallar, Dalit community. What I'm asking is, has any Arundhatinar went and asked DMK, like, why you have not selected even one Arundhatinar from us? They should ask, no. Why are you silent? And he's saying, we and Gounders, Adiyaman, one of the Arundhati leaders saying, oh, me and Arundhati, we and Gounders are like brothers. Like, how you're brothers? When Gounders are killing you.
Gounders are OBCs.
OBCs,
Yeah,
dominant caste, very dominant in Western.
Very dominant. They beat them up. They rape them. We are the ones who fight with Gounders. You're saying Gounders are my brothers. So a pariah who's getting oppressed along with you is your enemy, and a Gounder who's oppressing you is your brother? What kind of attitude is this? And then all the Tamil communities in the SE list have not got, are not
representation.
But the Telugu people are getting. They are almost equivalent to Mala and Madiga in Tamil Nadu, right? That's what they say. I am telling you, if there are pariahs, there are other castes in Maharashtra, right? They are Pallars settled in Maharashtra for generations, and they are from Tamil Nadu. Is Maharashtra government giving them an internal reservation? People in Dharavi? No, I don't see any reservation given to them. Then how come you come and talk bad about me? When I am called Adi Dravida, you're called an Adi Tamilar. They're not at all Tamilar. They talk in Telugu. And I am Tamilar, And then they spew venom on me in my own land, along with OBCs. See, this is the fight DMK wanted to see. DMK's brainchild is RSS. And the verdict from SC also is influenced by the right-wing extremism. They all think together. They have never went back to their community and they have not reformed their community. Instead, they come back to Dalits and they try to create divisions among us. Oh, go to your community first. For example, you're saying, Dalits are casteless. Even the little bit of differences you have, you're saying, oh, you're suffering a lot because of pariahs. Oh, you're suffering a lot because of Pallars. People should understand, every day we are recording discrimination in this country on the basis of caste. Who's doing most kind of atrocity is OBCs and the Brahmins. Then why the hell did you give EWS reservation for them? Did you go back and say, oh, OBCs are committing so much of, caste-based issues. Let me go ahead and scrap their reservation. Let me go ahead and scrap their Mandal Commission. Will you do that? Will you do the Patidar fight, which the reservation they got, right? And the amount of discrimination they show. Will you go and say, oh, you're discriminating so much. My heart is bleeding for you. Let me pull back that reservation for you. Will you say that? The only people whose reservation you can mess and muddle up is Dalits. Because you does not want the basis of reservation to remain in this country, the foundation of the reservation. The foundation of the reservation, the true affirmative action in India was brought by the British people in the name of depressed class reservation before independence. That is true representation. We even had political representation. People were not elected like nowadays. People were nominated. People were just picked and nominated from SC communities. Now, after they do is they want to destroy the foundation of reservation, which is depressed class reservation. They want to take it away. They want to mess up with it so that we will not have the basic strength to fight back these caste perpetrators. We'll be fighting in the court. We'll be fighting in the parliament everywhere. We'll be fighting for our own reservation. We'll be fighting for our standing ground while they're oppressing us. This is what they want to do with us. The basic spine of affirmative action reservation, that is SC/ST reservation, they want to, play with it. Right now, I am saying we are almost 26%. Give us 26% reservation. You are giving us 15% reservation. How is that even sufficient for us? How is that even? You address the case of selection committees which does not have reservation. You talk about that first. You talk about these reservation system being messed up by the Supreme Court verdicts here and there, now and then. The Supreme Court, which does not have a reservation. Don't you think the country is fundamentally failed somewhere where the judicial system does not have a reservation system? Then what kind of a moral authority do they have to talk about the reservation system of SC/STs? And how come these leaders, even Dalit leaders like Tirumavalan, today he's talking something else, tomorrow he'll talk something at the cost of Dalit lives? If you people are going to talk like this, we are not going to consider you as Dalit parties at all.
No, he said VCK is not a Dalit party at all.
Still then don't stand in SC/ST. Then don't contest from separate constituencies.
Several times he said that no, VCK, his party is not a Dalit party at all.
Who said, sir?
VCK Tirumavalavan, VCK leader Thol Tirumavalavan. Several times he said that his party shouldn't be considered as a Dalit party. It is a common party for all.
Okay.
But they represent Dalits.
In fact, this whole constitutional mandate of eliminating untouchability and casteism or caste-based gradedness in the society has never been fulfilled. Without doing that, how can you get into a untouchability-faced community and divide them and say that there is some people have gone ahead, some people, while they all together face untouchability and the wrath of the caste-based discrimination. And even recently, last year, 2023, the DMK's mayor, Greater Chennai Corporation Mayor, Priya Rajan, I don't know what is her caste within SC.
She's a Dalit.
Dalit, but which subcaste?
Parayar community.
Parayar community.
I think so. I'm not very sure.
Yeah, this is the Greater Chennai Corporation Mayor Priya Rajan. She faced patronized in meetings by male councillors of DMK. And now this is the same DMK whose chief minister Stalin, who held this subclassification judgment. I mean, what is your moral compass while your men are harassing a Dalit woman mayor and you are hailing subclassification rather than
when it is questioned to her.
We have a Dalit mayor because outside they're going and saying, oh, we have a Dalit woman mayor. We made it possible. Social justice of patronized. You see the videos of her being humiliated. How the ministers do the talking, how the men do the talking, and how they, silence her. They say, Amma, don't talk. Shoo, and they treat her as if she's a school kid. And then, she's a well-educated woman. They don't let her talk at all, right? And the counselor also, they get back to her. And then she also behaves, in a very subservient manner to all these men in DMK politically. So, and she's a mayor. She has to have that, thing. But end of the day, as you said, one side they are saying we did this, and the other side is the cesspool of Dalit atrocities. Okay, from represent most of their ministers. Where he can't take any decisions. In fact, A Raja, as a Dalit, he goes in a meeting and says, I'm a part of DMK now, so I cannot talk on Dalit issues freely. See, that is the place they have, right? So it's all about caste vote bank, especially OBC based vote bank. DMK is purely anti-Dalit. I wouldn't say ADMK is not anti-Dalit. ADMK also too is anti-Dalit, but DMK is purely anti-Dalit and very cunning enough to play with the subcaste so that we'll fight among each other and we'll not talk about the oppressiveness of the backward class people, right? That's what they want to do. And then Stalin, if you go and tell him, sir, can you explain this whole reservation system? He cannot explain. See, he's hailing it right now. Udayanidhi is really hailing it. But if you call them and says, okay, sir, can you please explain how this came? Can you please explain to us how you arrived at 18 plus 1 and how it's been distributed? What happens to the seats? He doesn't know. They don't know. They're all rhetorics. They're all good, orators. Somebody writes their speech, they'll talk. If they have a one-on-one conversation on reservation, like me and Manoj or you have a one-on-one conversation with DMK leaders on reservation, they will not know. They got something to divide the Dalits and they are holding their ground on it very strongly. So they will defend it. So suddenly when the Supreme Court gave a same verdict, they became very happy. See, everybody in India are calling this as a RSS motivated, BJP motivated, right? And people in Tamil Nadu saying they're anti-BJP, but these are the people who are actually supporting the SC verdict who have already implemented it. So who is actually RSS minded? DMK is actually RSS minded. It does not mean you have to be with RSS to be like RSS. Anybody can be with an extremist Brahminical mindset, anti-Dalit mindset. There is no need that you have to be a Gowalkar follower, or there is no need that you have to be in alliance with Modi. But you can still be Brahminical, belonging to a backward class Shudra, and you can still be anti-Dalit.
And VCK leader Thirmavalavan
And VCK also
appreciated the verdict.
Yeah, and VCK for the power trust. Yeah, whatever they are doing to Dalits is backstabbing. Even I'm going to, somebody sits with Mr. And I'm going to ask, sir, why did you support 3% that time before? Why did you ask for 6%? Now, why are you saying no autonomy for, why did you file a case now? Why last week you said okay for you welcome the move? This week you're opposing the move. What is it behind it? They're very different. Because Vansit Barrett, they are different. Mayawati ji is different. A lot of people are different. But we all came together. We all stuck to the one point because we know it is wrong. We know it is wrong. But end of the day, only one state which plays to the new, their Dalit party is, flipping. That is one Dalit party, not all the Dalit parties. Only one Dalit party. Because Pudhe Tamilagam by Krishnasamy, Seku Tamilarasan, and the Republic Party of India, everybody are against it. Only one party, that is VCK, is flipping on that idea, which means they are motivated by DMK.
I'll tell you, VCK is always pro-state minded. Pro-state minded. I'll tell you, a Dalit person, if at all he joins police department, he will behave like a police. And the police will have a mindset of state instructions. The police department will never act on its own mind.
Yes.
It will act on the instruction of the state. So, police mind is a state mind. Even if the person is a Dalit, he will beat a Dalit who is protesting with the state mind. You got it? The same way
Yes.
VCK is behaving. VCK behaves on the state mind. State mind is a DMK mind.
Yes.
Okay, this is what
Yes.
happens. This is what the fact is. And coming to the reservation is an interim compensation. It is not the final thing. Reservation is not final. Reservation is an interim compensation. So, reservation should exist until caste exists. And until caste exists, untouchability will exist. You got it?
Yeah.
Reservation should exist until caste exists. And until caste exists, untouchability will exist. So, until untouchability and caste is existing even for one person, till the time reservation should exist. And reservation is not class based, reservation is social based. Reservation is social based, not economic based, not class based. But these judges, they fail to understand what is the concept of reservation. Reservation is implemented for social purpose, not for economic upliftment. For economic upliftment, there are schemes which are implemented by state through its department. But reservation is a compensation. Okay. These judges, they fail to understand the fundamentals of reservation, the basics of reservation. This is the reason why they are trying to collapse all these under the instigation, under the mindset, on the mindset of RSS and all those. And I'm telling you, DMK, see, we knew that the SC Supreme Court verdict is a very dangerous to the entire SC community, but DMK and VCK are the parties which were celebrating that verdict.
Yes.
So think of the shock and surprise we have.
There is one interesting point that, in fact, me and Madam, we both, this was some 2-3 years back, we basically spoke a lot about it. And we, ironically, that the largest number of villages that practice untouchability has been recorded in Thiruvarur district.
Okay.
And this is where DMK chief M Karunanidhi remained undefeated in 2 assembly elections.
Okay.
So this, I mean, this speaks for, this opens a Pandora's box that here they are so much at pain with that within Dalits some communities are lagging. But here this man is getting undefeatedly elected, which is a DMK patron, Karunanidhi, from a district where highest number of untouchability is practiced. I don't know who are practicing. I'm sure that these are BC castes. I don't know what are the names of those castes, and you can shed some light that what are those castes? Those are facing untouchability, and what are the oppressor castes committing untouchability in Thiruvarur? I think either sir or madam talked a lot about this. You can just shed some light on this.
Almost all communities in SC are facing discrimination or undergoing caste atrocity. Nothing is exempted. Either
Yeah.
Aruntatiyar or Pallar or Parayar, all the castes are affected.
Yes.
Nothing is exempted.
Yeah.
And which caste is predominantly conducting this caste atrocity is it depends on region. See, Tamil Nadu is divided into various zones: Delta zone, Western Ghats, Western zone, South zone, Central zone, and Northern zone. So, in these zones, whichever caste is more in number, they conduct the atrocities.
Mhm.
Okay.
But what are those districts or areas where, let's
See, I'll
say,
tell you,
Arundhatias
there
are concentrated?
See, I'll tell you, there are close to 15,000 villages in Tamil Nadu. And each and every village will have a separate colony. Dalit colony will be randomly we will consider it as a 25% of the among those 15,000 are Dalit villages. The
Right.
remaining all other are filled by OBC Sudras. So
Mhm.
each and every village, for example, 25% in 10,000 and 25% in 15,000 will be altogether 4,000. Out of 15,000, 4,000 villages will be a Dalit colonies. So the remaining 11,000 villages will be conducting caste atrocities.
Mhm. Sir,
The-
like bear with me
yeah.
with this data. Again, very interesting. I'm trying to understand the dynamics because the Tamil Nadu, like my state, West Bengal, is highly gate-kept because of the linguistic handicap. Because in Tamil Nadu, the most of the people, the speaking language is Tamil. In Bengal is Bengali. So outsiders, the quote unquote, the non-inhabitants of the states, of these two states, they can't understand what's going on. So what we know is from the only the dominant caste's writings and academic research. And so we think that this is a state where Periyar was born. So it's something which is a heaven for all the community. But you just shed some light on this again RTI report where it is saying Thiruvarur and then after Thiruvarur
To Tamil Nadu.
from
And
Dalit caste.
yes, and majority are Parayas.
Mhm.
The
Okay,
majority,
interesting.
the majority of workforce, labor force are Parayas.
Yeah, okay.
And one thing, when the RTI was done, no, Tiruvallur and Chennai, we did not get the data, RTI data for caste atrocities. Two districts
Uh,
did not give, Tiruvallur and Chennai. But if you take that, even that will be more. Even that.
uh,
So, Karnanidhi, as you're saying, has not worked against annihilation of castes. He did all these Brahmin bashing, anti-Brahmin thing for some time. And after that, what they done is they built on their OBC supremacy, right? So
mm,
if there is a Brahmin priest, replace him with a Shudra priest.
yeah.
Okay? There is a Brahmin CM, replace him with a Shudra CM. But
Same Brahminical practices being
Brahminical
con-
practices, but do not annihilate caste. They've never spoken or campaigned against annihilate. For example,
yeah.
in Tamil Nadu, Ambedkar statues are very rare in areas where Arundhatinas are majorly focused. You ask, no, where are Arundhatinas majorly focused? They are majorly focused in western districts. The one
Like
where Manoj belongs in western districts like
Western
Namakkal,
Western region of
western
Tamil
districts,
Nadu.
Ero,
See,
Coimbatore,
Western
and all
region
those
of
places.
Tamil Nadu has two dominant castes. One is Naikar, who are Telugu speaking community, Naikar community. Okay, and the other community is Counter community. Counter is the landlords in Western region,
mm,
and the Naikar community is the industrialist. The majority of industries are in the hands of Telugu speaking Naikar community, who are otherwise called as Naidus in Andhra.
mm,
In Andhra, they are Naidu. In Tamil Nadu, they are called Naikar, and the Periyar belongs to Naikar community.
mm, yeah. Which is the
Okay.
OBC community,
OBC dominant caste. In
dominant
OBC,
caste.
in
it is
that
the
region,
dominant caste.
you cannot find an Ambedkar statue. You
Mm,
cannot find an Ambedkar statue in that region in Tamil Nadu.
See,
In all the other regions where the statues are in cages. Here I
Periyar.
want to one Manoj. Here I want to talk something because it's just hitting my head. See, caste atrocities in Tamil Nadu, we have RTIs. It's too much of caste atrocities, fecal matter in food. People, when asked for extra coolie, Dalit laborers demanded extra coolie, they were fed fecal matter in Tinium, right? And then you have the weighing trial, the fecal matter was mixed, and then you have Kilven money, they were burnt alive, and then you have Dalit leaders killed, and then Tamil Nadu has the highest number of manual scavenging deaths as well as bonded laborers who are Dalits,
mm.
as well as you have the highest number of honor killings. Okay, now why I'm talking about honor killing is, you remember you spoke about how this one person from Arundhatinar community is constantly talking about the need of subcategorization,
Mm.
because there has been one murder where a Pallar guy has murdered a Arundhatinar boy, correct?
Mm.
Happened recently. Okay. I am someone who's working on this matter for a long time. Yes, there had been a murder. There had been a Pallar guy who beheaded Arundhatinar guy. because he was in love with this guy's sister. Okay, out of all the honor killings which happens in Tamil Nadu, say for in a year, the reported cases are 25 to 30 in a year. In that, you will have 24 cases which are done by OBC on Dalits or OBC within their own community, subcaste community. Okay, Dalit kill. You get the point. Within OBC, Nadar killing they were killing Nadar. 1 year killing this guy. That is happening.
Why then OBC's reservation is not reduced? Because OBCs are dominant there, and then a separate category can be created for the more weaker Arundhutias. Those are maybe economically or whatever backward.
Exactly, na?
But they are keeping on removing the caps to increase the OBC reservation.
1 second, Manoj, can you please ask her to be silent for some
time?
Yeah, thanks. Our daughter, I'm sorry. Basically, it's a good question. So, subcaste issue is larger among the OBC communities. Okay, so these guys should focus on that. Instead, they're coming to the rare things which is happening within the Dalit community. And then he said this murder happened. Okay, so what is the problem now? Honor killing is the problem. So what is the illness? Caste is the illness. Caste is the disease. Will you go and work on the disease, or will you go ahead and destroy a medicine? You tell me. So if honor killing is a problem, we activists have been asking you to bring a special ordinance, a special bill to stop honor killings, right? You've seen me, Subhajit, roaming around with one draft bill for the last 3 years, begging everybody like there is a draft bill, we went to Stalin, we had so many conferences in Tamil Nadu, conclaves, where we got this honor killing draft bill. We said, pass this draft bill against honor killing. We've been saying that, right? If Tamil Nadu government is really worried about caste oppression, they should go ahead and pass the bill. Correct?
True.
They should go ahead and eradicate manual scavenging. Correct? Because we are asking for automative scavenging. We are asking for automation in scavenging, right? We are asking for bringing machines and taking men out of that job. We are asking for abolishing menial jobs, correct? We are asking for conviction of caste perpetrators. We are asking for special courts. We are asking for better police stations, Dalit-friendly police station. So there are like 1,000 things we have placed in front of Tamil Nadu state to eradicate caste, to stop caste atrocities. Tamil Nadu government does not want to do that. Instead, what Tamil Nadu government wants to do from its noble heart is to create a subcategorization within the Dalit community. Tell me, is this laughable or not? Is this laughable or not? You are not sorting the problem. Instead, you are creating another problem by playing with the solution. So,
yes.
This is also caste oppression. The categorization thought, the thought of categorization itself is caste oppression. That has to be taken as a caste atrocity against Dalits, right? Because who's doing it? A Shudra is doing it to me. Correct? So, see, there's a lot of honor killings which happen. An OBC guy, within OBCs, they will marry a Dalit girl. What happens is the OBC guy will book,
I think Ranjit, after the release of Mammanan, raised those issues, and Udanidhi Stalin quoted his tweet and said that we will be trying to work because Mamman. No.
Okay. Ranjit always spoken about it. Udanidhi gives answers. He speaks, but Udanidhi
never wants the talk.
At the end of the day, if you're talking about reservation subcategory, Social Justice Party, it's been like 3 times. 3 times only, OBC guys have become chief ministers in DMK regime. Why don't for once you bring a Dalit CM, right? The finance minister in the DMK government has never been a Dalit. Why don't you bring a Dalit in that? Education minister has never been a Dalit. Why don't you bring an education minister from a Dalit community? You have so many people working for you, no? Where is the portfolio for our Rasa? A Rasa, where is the portfolio? You're saying, oh, A Rasa is our intellectual treasure. What is the place of intellectual treasure? PTR only got portfolio, not him. Correct?
What is
So,
PTR's caste? Thanga.
he's
Tyagaraja.
Mudaliyar. Mudaliyar is like OBC, Manoj. What they are? OBC, BC.
Mudalli area.
Mudaliyar. So obviously these are the people who you're giving place, right?
Even
Even when it comes to BJP leaders, the way they make fun, the way they treat Tamilisai, who's an OBC person, is very different from how they treat El Murugan.
or maybe Annamalai. What is his caste?
Annamalai also comes with the Gounder community. They are the most oppressive towards Arundadinas. But DMK is working so much for Arundadinas. DMK is giving its life for Arundadinas. Then why the hell are DMK in coalition with Kongu Iswaran and Kongu Makkal Party and Gounder?
Yeah.
Central Party was given a very big portfolio because he got Gounder votes. But he is anti-Arundadinar. Then DMK, like as you said, says something and does something. If you really love Arundadinas, immediately you want to rescue them. Work on discrimination. Work on violence on them.
But even right now, in the Stalin government of DMK, portfolio cabinet rank minister from the Arundhatiar community or not?
In Jayalalitha they had. In Jayalalitha, the speaker, Maman, they showed. That happened during Jayalalitha's time. The speaker, Dhanapal, became speaker because Jayalalitha. There is a backstory to it. Dhanapal, they say that Dhanapal had come and cried to Jayalalitha that he had a housewarming function. But Arundadinar, since he's an Arundadinar, the DMK guys went to his home and they did not eat from his home. Okay. And immediately Jayalalitha made him a speaker. That's the story they say. But end of the day, she made him a speaker. Okay, Dhanapal. But the same Dhanapal in the assembly was attacked by DMK people.
But there is something interesting.
They pulled his shirt and they went to punch him in the face. Women and men from DMK party, it happened in the assembly.
So that means this whole politics of subclassification is a politics to divide the Dalits. There is nothing to annihilate.
Love the Arundadinar. But DMK loves the Arundadinar. They should give them party post. They should give them district secretary post. Not even a single person is from that community. Not
That's 72, I think sir has written. What is 72?
One person is Dalit and that person is a Pallar guy. Not one single Parayar, not one single Dalit Arundadinar is there. Even the Sayar Kudu is there, no? Even the Sayar Kudu, they don't have one Arundadinar. See, we are asking. If we have so much enmity with Arundadinar community as a Parayar woman, I would never go ahead and ask for representation of Arundadinar community in DMK or Congress or, networking. These people, they don't identify themselves as Dalits. Rather, they identify themselves as Arundadinar only. They never use the word Dalit a lot. In fact, they want to get away with the word Dalit. And they also don't celebrate Ambedkar much. But even Ambedkar is not a Parayar. He's a Mahar. But still, we think as a Dalit mind. Whereas Ambedkar is the leader. But these people, they
don't want to be part of the Ambedkarite movement. To annihilate caste.
Buddhism, minority religion, they rarely convert. They only convert. They are mostly attached to Hindu religion, and they rarely convert. If I'm not wrong, that's why in Christianity you have a lot of OBCs, upper caste, and Parayas than Arundadinas. But in Andhra, you have Malas and Manihas converted to Christianity a lot, right? But in Tamil Nadu, they have not done it. So they still with the Hindu system. So this is there. So the whole political discourse of the other communities in the Dalit fold and this political discourse of not the individuals in the Arundhati community, people who are representing them in the political arena. Their discourse is very non-Dalit. It is not Dalit friendly. It is not Dalit oriented. So I would say individuals are losing a lot because these representatives are not done enough for the community. They are not speaking for this community at all. The amount of work what Beswada Wilson does as Safai Karamchari Andolan for the people in Tamil Nadu, but these Dalit leaders have not
Bejwada
done
Wilson is from Tamil Nadu.
No. What I'm saying is, Beswada Wilson from Andhra, even
Yeah.
he's doing a lot for the community in Tamil
Yeah.
Nadu, Safai Karamcharis, but their own leaders here, the
Yeah.
at this point. So they are not focused on this. They are not focused on division. They are not focused on the upliftment of this. They go through a lot of shit. Just like any other Dalit. Just like any other Dalit, they go through a lot of shit. I'm not going to say, oh, the Arundhatinas are good. No. Because right now I have a fan, a reader from jail who got released after 21 years. He's a Pallar guy from Palani who killed a caste counter guy because that guy was oppressing Arundhatinar.
A Pallar fought for Arundhatiar against a dominant caste. So Arundhatiar
killed him.
So that this is where this is where all the scheduled caste communities are in the same thread against the resistance of the casteist oppressors.
Exactly. He lost.
This is what
you know what he said. He said, Tangachi's sister, small sister. I said, like, Tangachi, you know what? My life is gone, no problem. But nowadays, no, Arundhatinas can wear slippers in our street, in our main street. Arundhatinas are intermarrying within the community. Arundhatinas are educated, and you have to see the smile on his face when he says that. And
this is a Pallar guy.
He's a Pallar guy.
Yeah.
So
what is the district or what is this place?
This is from Palani, just Udumalaippettai next to Kausalya's house.
Near to
and the guy's name is Durai Pandi. He wrote to me from the jail. When I wrote my book, he used to write to me from jail. And when I didn't know he was into all these things. And then when he came in parole, he called me, he spoke to me. 21 years.
They claim themselves as a social justice party.
Yeah.
And DMK has 72 district secretaries.
Mm-hmm.
Among those, they have only one Dalit district secretary.
They talk of Dalits live as if they are going to liberate Dalits.
Yeah, upliftment. They are talking about liberating Dalits, free Dalits, and see. We as a Dalit, we shouldn't be in the hands of our oppressors in terms in our thought process. We need to have our own thought process to deal with our issues. Our issue is not an economic issue. Our issue is a social issue. See, the Supreme Court verdict, they talk about two things. One is subclassification and one is creamy layer. Both are interconnected. We cannot be subclassified at all because each and every community in scheduled caste have the same and equal value. Before
the tent of untouchability.
Before Varna system, if the caste you belong to and the any other caste in SC will be considered as the same by a Mukherjee and Chatterjee and Banerjee. Right? The very same way in Tamil Nadu. So, it cannot be classified at all. There cannot be a layer can be formed within SC community. If at all it is so, then it is a class approach. It is an economic approach. And this will create a very big rivalry within the SC community which will be a very big challenge in terms of consolidation within the Dalit community itself. And talking about creamy layer, I'll tell you now, as Shalin mentioned earlier, the scavengers were government employees, but in for past 10 years, in the previous government was ADMK, and prior to that, the ADMK government was for 10 years, and prior to that, DMK government was ruling for 5 years. So, DMK government is the first government to make scavenger employment into a contractual employment. So, they stopped converting the temporary employees into a permanent employees. Instead, if at all they require 50 scavengers, they give contract to a company and they recruit through the company. So that Arundhadiyars, Parayars who are involved in scavenging work, they've lost the government employment opportunity. So in this, I admit that among scavengers, predominantly it is filled by Arundhadiyars. Predominantly. I admit that. But there are other communities too involved in scavenging work. And now the scavenging work, no employee is a government employee. Everybody is a contract employee. Arundhatiya community should focus on that, fighting against the government, because it is losing the opportunity, government employment opportunity. Instead, they are fighting against Parayars. Parayar is not the one who made their government employment. There was zero application from SCA.
Yes.
The qualification should be auditor, CA. Okay? Zero application from SCA, but there was one application from SC candidate, Parayar candidate. Since this 3% is an internal reservation and there was no application from SCA, then an application from SC should be considered, right? But what happened, that SCA vacancy was transferred to BC. It was
Yes.
treated as a separate reservation. Technically, it is an internal reservation, but it was treated as a separate reservation, and the vacancy was transferred to BC, and one BC guy was recruited. So the aggrieved SC person, Parayar person, he went to the court and he won in the writ. What happened? Before winning, there was DMK came to the power, and this incident happened in ADMK. ADMK was not at all contesting that case at all. That was not fighting at all. After DMK came to power, DMK very vigorously contesting the case. Still then DMK lost, and DMK went on appeal against the verdict that the internal reservation vacancy transferred to BC is right, is what the stand of DMK. It mean they didn't follow the roster method itself. It mean whenever there is a vacancy arises within SCA, and if it is not being filled, instead of transferring the same to SC, it is being transferred to BC and SC. I have a live case, and that aggrieved party is my client. Now he went to Supreme Court. Though I'm not the counsel on record in the earlier cases, only after instituting the case he became my client. So I was not the counsel on record, so I cannot. I have constraint to mention the case number. Okay, DMK convinced him to not to file caveat, believing DMK government had a conversation with him that the government will offer him a post, and made him wait before he made him not to file a caveat, and DMK government filed an appeal and DMK government won. So against it, my client has filed an SLP. Now in SLP, they said to file a review. They filed to file a revision within in before the Madras High Court itself. So, whenever a vacancy is arisen within SCA, if not it is filled, then it is transferred to BC. This is how the internal reservation is being mismanaged and mistreated and misused by DMK government, not by DMK government, but by any other government. However, none
I
of
would
the government
I would put it as mismanaged. I would put it as
misused,
intentionally mismanaged, misused.
misused and mistreated, and none. I don't say. See, it is this misuse is done by ADMK government as well as DMK government. But ADMK government do not claim it as a social justice party, whereas DMK government claim it as a social justice party, but it always doing a backstabbing on Dalits. Okay, is what is this is what the main concern is. DMK is a welfare state. Tamil
Yeah.
Nadu stands next to UP in terms of caste atrocity. Tamil Nadu stands in the last in terms of intercaste marriage. So this measurement itself is enough to consider that Tamil Nadu is not a progressive state at all. And Tamil Nadu is very dangerous in terms of caste. It is more dangerous than UP because in UP it is visible that this guy Yogi will use a bulldozer to demolish the house. It is visible.
Here
But
it is very
whereas here,
subtle and polite.
yes, but whereas here they play a very cunning method. They like a Gandhi, Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi.
Yeah. Okay.
It is very difficult to understand. Gandhi was very casteist, like DMK. It is very
Yeah.
difficult to understand, right?
Yeah.
Gandhi was very casteist, but for very long days we were believing that Gandhi was very progressive and he was good. No, it was not. The similar way DMK is.
Yeah.
It is not
So,
at all progressive. It is very dangerous.
yeah. So I think we have, with this, come to the last leg of the conversation, and uh, I we have been basically kind of interacting on social media over this, but I really wanted the experts from the ground to decode this whole politics behind the subclassification in Tamil Nadu, because as I said, it's a very, very gate-kept society. What we all see outside is only very few from the dominant caste Tamils. Those basically, whatever they give us, we just consume that, even in academia. And only there is few from Dalit community, they are commenting on subclassification. So I wanted to have a alternative point of view. But with this, if I may ask Madam to have any last words, that what is ahead of us in terms of this subclassification, and how this entire subclassification issue in Tamil Nadu is doing? Any just within few maybe lines or 30 seconds. Unmute.
Yes, sorry. First of all, I thank you for this conversation, Subhajit, because in South we are not having much conversations around it. You would have seen even the Bharat Bandh thing. There nothing happened, and people kept silent. Somewhat there has been, there is there they are in a kind of I don't know. I wouldn't say they're in a sleeping mode, but they're in a resting mode, and they're not that much, forced to act against oppression on this matter. You see, the SCST Atrocities Act Amendment 2, the way North suffered, I think South we had a 2 hours thing, and that also was done by Armstrong. That was done by Armstrong. He led it, so everybody was part of it, and other leaders too. So I think if Armstrong was alive, we could have seen a kind of very big protest in that scale in Tamil Nadu.
Madam, few lines on the murder of BSP State President of Tamil Nadu,
Yeah, that's what I
Armstrong.
said.
The
So
political
we are
dynamics.
we
Just
are
few lines.
totally seeing a lack of things. So when the SC amendment came, and the North was getting beaten up, and we were sent to jail, and the people in Madhya Pradesh were getting, nothing was happening in Tamil Nadu. And one day, I think one day, Armstrong said, "I'm going to the road," and then everybody came. I think lakhs of people came to the road, to the city center, and all the Dalit leaders also joined him, like Thirumavalvan and others. I'm telling you, that kind of crowd I've never seen in my life at all. Dalits all gathering in one place is finished. So that
Yeah.
morality, the fighting spirit itself is not there. So there's no one to say, chalo, chalo, come, let's do, that kind of a thing. And end of the day, so the power he held. And then morally, the month of July and all, we felt very, very sad because he was not there, because he was a cultural icon, he was a Buddhist icon. And for this subcategorization, he would have written a book on why it should not come. He would have such data, case studies. He was an intellectual with the beautiful logic. So obviously he would have come with book and many conferences, which didn't happen. He even conceived something called the JB model from 2022 against the Dravidian model, which itself is, I think, it's over right now. So the successors, I don't know what they will do. But end of the day, that's what Armstrong cannot be replaced. So that's what happened. So right now, for this verdict also, nobody's doing anything here. So to be a part of it through you, we are very happy. And then the other thing is that I'm also happy of this verdict, because subcategorization was already existing in Tamil Nadu. A lot of people were pissed off because of the injustice, but they were not able to speak on this. When they used to speak, no, they used to silence us, saying, "Oh, you're casteist. Oh, you're against Arundhatinar. You're casteist." Not even a one word, not even a word saying 3%. I remember writing something about 3%, and until now, DMK uses it to anything I read, they want to put that and cancel me. Now they cannot use it at all because everybody is talking against it. Everybody is talking. Now, the whole, there was this unspoken silence. Nobody talks about it. Now, everybody talks about it. Everybody has demystified it. Everybody has debunked it. Now, the myth of pariahs being castes itself is being debunked. And because all of India is talking, now Tamil Nadu also, the first 2 days when I was writing against this verdict, people were, "Oh, your caste is, your caste is." First 2 days. Third day, when all the news of everybody speaking against it came out, they all backtracked and they all went in silent mode. They just shut up. Because I think the whole of India is just thinking like I am thinking like the whole of India only. So there is sudden stark reality striking them. Oh, all this while we were fooled by DMK on subcategorization issue, and we were blaming pariahs wrongly. Right now, we are openly talking about this. This conversation between you and me is happening only because of this SE verdict. Otherwise, this would have just gone silently. Let's not talk about it. And everybody would have just put up with it. Now we are questioning Thirumavala, we are questioning CPIM, we are questioning everybody, which is good. So I would say, like how Buddha says, in darkness you see light, you become your own light. The amount of darkness that SC or RSS they try to bring, we have our own intelligence which brings the light. So we all, it's like we got our tongue back to talk rightly in this matter. So we knew that we are not committing a mistake by talking against it. They are our own brothers, but we're only talking for their good also. It's not like they're talking for us, they're talking for their good also. We are seeing the bigger picture because we are from the Dalit community. So more conversations in Tamil Nadu based on that. I'm also conducting a few, in a couple of weeks, I'll be conducting an offline meeting on this, whatever we spoke. So that the Republic Party of India, I'm bringing them in there. Like, why should I not support someone? This party, Ambedkar, I don't want to leave Ambedkarites. So we're all joining in. And right now, because of this, all the Chota Mota movements and all those parties which lost track of people, they're all connecting together.
From sir to that what is then because I think there should be an article on the crisis of Dalit leadership in the post Armstrong murder. I think because Armstrong Anna's death has created a huge void in the Dalit leadership space. and as a result of which is visibly been seen that Bharat Bandh could not be executed in Tamil Nadu. And so where do you go to reclaim the Dalit space, or let's say Dalit dignity in a dominant Dravidian Periyaran model?
See, not just now. There has been an agitation from the side of Dalits, especially Parayars, against this caste system. Not just now, but for a very long time. As I said, it is existing for more than 200 years, and I've mentioned the leaders as well. Thus, the way we knew that Armstrong Anna is a very big loss to the community, but however, we will not get stagnated in that. We are fighting even more rigorously
Yeah.
individually.
Yes.
So we are not actually demotivated.
Mhm.
We are in fact being even more cautious and
Mm.
even more ferocious because we knew that we lost one of our big leader who always voiced out.
Mm.
Now he is absent. So now it is everybody's duty to be more ferocious and even be more speed and fast and being more intelligent in this matter. So it is not a matter for Tamil Dalits to get stagnated. That is one thing. And the second thing, in terms of subclassification and all those stuff, it is high time for Dalits to speak on reservation in selection committee and the method of selection. Primarily, the general category should be filled, and secondarily, BC category should be filled, and at last, SC category should be filled to eradicate the roster scam, because roster scam is a very big thing. The roster is a very big scam. So, second issue, we need to speak on that. And thirdly, we need to speak on reservation in judiciary, in High Court and Supreme Court.
Yes.
So,
And scrap
a,
collegium.
a department which do not have a bench which do not have reservation, but it decides on reservation. Supreme Court do not have reservation, but it will set a rule on reservation.
Yes, very
When it is
interesting.
right, this itself says that the Supreme Court do not have
They
qualification.
went ahead
They are
and
not
gave a
qualified.
verdict on STs.
Yes,
When the bench has no ST and there was no ST.
yes, that is what I say. There should always be a reservation in any selection committee or bench.
Yeah.
As simple as that. So first of all, let it be followed, and then we will talk about this subclassification and all those stuff. And subclassification is purely a class aspect, an economic aspect, which is a similar kind of, which will be relevant to
OBCs.
creamy layer kind of thing, which is totally irrelevant in SC. Reservation in judiciary selection committee, and the method to eradicate the roster scam, the method of recruitment, and also I forgot to quote. After there was a land ceiling act was implemented, and after that there was a land acquisition happened in Congress period. Uh, it very fastly happened in Indira Gandhi period. Firstly, it started in the period of Nehru itself, and it was so fastly happening in Indira Gandhi period. But when it comes to redistribution, the reservation should be implemented in redistribution of land, but it was not implemented at all.
Yes, true.
So that in terms of land distribution, redistribution, no reservation was followed. Talking about the bus route, there will be a private bus route permission, right? You have private buses in your area.
Yeah.
Is there any reservation being implemented? which will create Dalit entrepreneurs? No.
Yes.
Government
True.
supplies, government supply, government contract, talking about government PWD contract, the reservation is being implemented? No. And whether any other contract, talking about lorry water supply contract, whether reservation is being implemented, whether any scheduled caste drivers are given lorry permit to supply water, fuel, and anything. No,
Interesting.
reservation is
Yes.
not implemented. So it is a high time for Dalits to raise voice on all these areas.
Yes.
We should fight to implement reservation in each and every department and in all areas.
Yes.
So this is very important. So we don't have entrepreneurs, we don't have land. So why we didn't have land? Because the reservation is not implemented in land redistribution time. In
Hmm.
between that 1980s, 1980 was the highest period,
Yeah.
was the big period where land redistribution happened.
Hmm.
But Dalit were not at all beneficiaries. So we have to fight for that. We have to fight for reservation in business opportunity. We have to fight for reservation in loan
Yeah.
opportunities, financial assistance. So technically we need to fight for it. Okay, in terms of building contracts, government contracts, and permits, contracts and permits, we need to fight for reservation in that, so
Okay.
that it will help Dalits in terms of economic aspect, not socially. It will never ever help Dalits socially to face caste issues.
Hmm.
Caste,
Yes.
right? Caste issue is entirely different. It is a social issue, but we should not, we should not allow the government to continue non-implementing of reservation, non-implementation of reservation in all these areas. And we should work on we should work on Dalit consolidation. That is a different scenario that we will have discussion within ourselves. That is a different thing.
Yes.
So now we shouldn't confine talking about subclassification alone.
Yes.
We should also raise our concerns. We should extend our concern in all these areas.
Must have got their confusions, if any, cleared by this discussion, because judiciary has cited one article written in EPW in the subclassification judgment by a particular caste person, but not the other Dalit communities, academicians, and activists. So I think this is again, this entire subclassification is again is against the constitutional mandate, is against the, it's also would be undoing the 30 years of struggle that Dr. Ambedkar had waged to get some kinds of social protection. And I'm very, very particular, not social protection, but
Since you brought
yes.
up something, I wanted to tell. This is supposed to happen only in a parliament, not at a court
Yeah.
of law. Okay, that's
Yes.
the reason we have the parliament. And end of the day, after this, there should have been an uproar in the parliament by left MPs staging a walkout, biggest hangama, hona tha, which didn't happen.
Didn't happen.
We're just going
Yes.
to discussing stuff. Well, what is the importance of a parliament when this is happening at a court? That's a very big question. So, what has happened in
Yes.
parliament? That's it.
See, there is a
The
mutual understanding between the government and Supreme Court. Now,
yes. Yes.
on under Chandrachud, they are now reclaiming the power of judiciary.
Yes.
They are showing the power of judiciary to the Modi government. So now it is a win-to situation. They are playing a game of win-to-win situation where
Rahul
judiciary.
Gandhi, even Rahul Gandhi did not raise this question in the parliament and ask like, why are we sitting here as a opposition party? Why he didn't have a discussion? Why it has been done in the Supreme? Even he didn't do it. It's like if he himself feels very comfortable with it, which is very wrong. Which is very
Yeah.
very wrong. So we know who is anti-Dalit and who is actually acting like a Dalit, right?
Mhm.
So to pretend to like Dalit is very different from being a Dalit.
Yes, true. Okay.
Thank
So, yeah, thank you so much, sir. I hope that we generate more and more discussions around this subclassification, because this is really a judgment which has penetrated into the domains of the parliament and also has undone the struggle that has been waged by Baba Saheb Ambedkar. And also, this is against the very moral.
One short thing I'll explain. I'm sorry to extend the time. VCK leader Tul Tirumavalavan has filed a petition,
Review
petition. Yes, in that he supports internal reservation if at all it is implemented by the state government, and he is against the
criminal.
internal reservation if at all it is implemented by union government.
Oh, okay. So that means a DMK ploy.
Yes, this is what he stands for. So he is supporting internal reservation subclassification in Tamil Nadu, and he says that this subclassification will affect in the other states because it will be implemented by central government.
Yes.
See how
while this is actually, that is why the Constituent Assembly kept it in the hands of the Parliament of India. And I think with these words, I hope that there was actually a good number of.
So we shouldn't get deceived.
I'm hungry, Manoj.
Okay. So we shouldn't get deceived that VCK leader Tul Tirumavalavan has filed a review petition, so he's against subclassification. No, it is not.
Yes.
He's supporting subclassification being implemented by state.
Yes.
And against union government. That's it.
Okay, Mr.
Thank you so